Welcome back to Game 2 to QXC and Lucifron, SeKo Starcraft, bringing you some more tournament action. This is from the ESL slash World Championship Series qualifiers for round 2. The first run through of the World Championship Series WCS I actually found quite exciting. It was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of controversy. People are saying, oh, why are there Korean players in WCS America? That doesn't really bother me too much, particularly as they all play for different teams and things of that nature anyways. But we still actually had a really good mix of races and people involved in that tournament. I'm going to speed it up slightly here at the beginning, because this game was a little bit longer from what I had seen before. And we'll just make any note of anything big difference between both of them. It does look like Lucifron wants to go for an expansion first. QXC is going to get out the barracks. And it looks like Lucifron wants to cross-scout, whereas QXC is going to scout correctly. The interesting thing is, as soon as you see this kind of expansion first, you see immediately I'll slow down again. I believe this is a Marine. Yeah, we got a Marine already across the map, and the second one will be coming as well. Because you have an opportunity with a correct scout and seeing that this is happening to be able to put some pressure in on this kind of greedy opening from a player. So it looks like Lucifron's going to keep all of his SCVs alive here and be able to start getting out some of his Marines. The problem is that this base that he went into a big rush to get up. Oh, it looks like he did attack the SCV that was making the command center on this side though. So he's delaying QXC as well. Unfortunately, all these units are super weak. Is he going to get it? Nope, not quite. Another Marine does come out here. Both those Marines essentially have full health. Whereas from Lucifron here, he's got one essentially at death. And that SCV took all the hits. So both of these ones of QXC still have full health. It's a 3 against 2. Oh, nice target firing on the weak Marine. And they managed to get that other one as well. Really nice. And they still got one full health Marine there. That was some pretty good control out of QXC. Quite impressed. He did get a little bit supply block there for a moment. Probably anticipating his command center finishing sooner. But ain't no thing. Gonna speed it up just the slightest bit once again. As both these players are kind of just going into what their late early game strategy is. Got nothing but barracks on this side. 2 gas now. And on this side, we've already got a starport essentially finishing up. So a bit of a tech lead from QXC here. I mean, his economy is slightly behind because of it. But at the same time, we've got a pretty good opportunity here for QXC to do some damage with a medevac that's already on the way. Should be able to rally and do a bit of a taxi into the main base. And if you see those Hellions out, the Hellions are actually not really that useful in the early game, Terran versus Terran, except for controlling space or going for these kind of taxi drops. Because if you mix in your Hellions with your Marines, you can do some really good damage. So Lucifron's doing a smart defensive play here, trying to get up a bunker, just in case something like that were to happen. Yeah, Lucifron, well, he knows what he sees. Fast third command center is the only thing that's interesting about what he sees out of that. Looks like he'll put a little bit, that's a pretty good amount of Marines there. Should be able to deflect this. Just trying to get the medevac. We're going to have the run by the Hellions. Yes, there is. Oh. Yeah, he's doing okay. He's trying to block in the Hellions. Just about had it. And actually managed to focus down the weak ones there. But let's look what we had lost. 12 workers killed so far. So in the overall totals. Yeah, QXC's got a little bit of a lead there. About 5 workers. But that's enough at this point. And his command center is well underway. Salvages the bunker. Whereas we see there's no command center coming out yet from Lucifron. So we're about to see a pretty good economic lead take place for QXC once that other base goes up. He did lose most of his Hellions though, so we will have to play somewhat defensive. So he's just going to go into some fairly standard bio play. This orbital command is just about done. Let's see if he's going to lift that up and move it here really soon. We do have finally the command center starting on this side. Lucifron's keeping pretty tight in the supply. Production facility wise, 3 barracks, factory starport, 2 barracks, factory starport. Yeah, so it looks like no, there's 3 there. Exact same production essentially from both players. Upgrades from QXC. Well, they're both upgrading their stuff. I mean, Lucifron's going to have a stim sooner and his +1 attack sooner. But I think he can only afford... Yeah, he's getting a second engineering bay now. He hasn't been able to afford to getting down that a second. Ooh. Pretty interesting little drop there. His stim and +1 are about to finish. He's testing that bunker. There isn't much in it right now. This is kind of a bad spot. These tanks are going to keep him alive, though. Only lost 2 Marines in all that attack, and did a little bit of damage. Managed to retake the supply lead in the process of doing that. This third base has not been able to be used at all. It's not even landed to be building more SCVs at the moment. On this side, the orbital is not even completed yet, though. There's just not a really big mobile army from QXC at the moment to be able to go and pressure take back his third base. More production facilities on the way, 3 more barracks. On this side, we haven't had the start of any more production facilities. We have the turret here to try and deflect that. 2 big chunks of Marines. This is going to keep the pressure. I actually really like this. What Lucifron's doing is keeping the pressure on QXC and keeping him in his base, and allowing himself to try to catch up here in economy. Now that his command center is finished. Whoa. Looks like he lost a couple of Marines when that one medevac got shot down. He did take out a Viking as well, though. Tried to go for a drop in the base, but it looks pretty well defended. That sensor tower is going to give a good advantage for him to be able to see what's going on. Now it looks like he has enough army that he's going to be content to move out and try to pressure and take his third base. Is there any tanks at all mixed in? Oh, it looks like that was a Widow Mine that was planted there. Sneaky, sneaky. Expanding away from his opponent, I think that's really wise. Oh, there's tanks coming out now, but the tank count-wise, if we look at the unit totals, 1 tank versus 5. So if there was a siege up in between these bases here, eventually Lucifron would be getting pushed back. QXC even scouts this base as well. So this expands probably a lot safer. Let's see what our economy is at now. Still just the same small margin of economy lead really for QXC. Still more workers from both players. See, Lucifron's still building 3 at a time, because he really wants to try to catch up to what level he's comfortable with. A few more production facilities, reactors a little bit delayed, whereas on this side we see that the production facilities for QXC are already up and going, starting to pull him ahead a little bit in the supply lead. Gas has started on this side. Gas is already going on this side. He does need to put more SCVs into his gas. He'll get back on that here soon, I'm pretty sure. Wow. Where's... Oh, there it is. These Widow Mines I think are really cute. I do them with a lot of my play now. It doesn't matter what matchup I'm in. If I'm going mech, I like splitting around Widow Mines everywhere, just because they give you vision, and sometimes they just work out well. Nice little drop out of QXC. This should be able to get quite a bit of damage in. It doesn't look like there's any army here to deal with this. He might even lose his command center. Wow, this is really, really bad. Lucifron can't even push into all these tanks. Doesn't really have much choice about what he can do here, unfortunately. His command center's gonna fall. It looks like he did finally clean up this attack. Couple of big hits of Lucifron here. QXC has a lead. He's got to be careful not to throw units uselessly at this point. It is 2 base, There's another command center just started. It's 2 base versus 3 base. This base is mining perfectly fine. So I still give the advantage in a big sense to QXC. Tanks are unsieged. Looks like he just wanted to scout in there. Where are those Vikings that were originally cruising around? But the QXC had a Viking or two out. It's kind of important because he wants to get that vision back. And right now, it's not though Lucifron who's really in a position to be able to afford to be able to get much else out. His command center's not even finished yet. He's not building himself another one either. So it's pretty tight for Lucifron. He's doing a little bit of playing from behind as his opponent is essentially maxed out. Still didn't get that Widowmine, up to 3 kills. I don't know if he can really afford to use up scans, but this does give complete vision as to what's happening right now. Might turn this one into a planetary and just try to sit back and defend for a while. Siege up goes first to QXC though. Let's see if this army can sneak around here. I don't know if Lucifron is aware that this is happening. Oh, he is. He had the watchtower there for a moment. Oh, he managed to get the tanks while the Marines are by. That shows a lot of awareness from Lucifron there. While all those Marines were pulling away, he managed to snipe off 3 or 4 tanks. Does give down that Widowmine though as being a bit of a thorn in his side for a while here. Command center is down, it's not doing anything yet. A little bit too tense here at the front. He's only got 1 tank back to defend. Oh my, that is a lot of Marines. He should be able to just power through this regardless. I mean, obviously QXC was taking a lot of damage during... Oh, he went for an orbital as well. Pretty desperate move to go for that orbital at the same time. Pretty huge lead still for QXC. I thought that maybe he was going for a 4th base, which he probably should do at this point, is start considering a 4th. Medevac's just trying to be a bit of a jerk. This is why those Vikings are so important, just to keep this air control and keep the medevac count down. Right now, all these units have been stimmed many times, but they're all back to full health again. There's enough medevacs here to deal with it. It's very expensive to try to get air dominance, but a lot of times it's very worth it. It's kind of interesting. These tanks really do need to get up to the front. Nice awareness once again from Lucifron. Managed to get another 2 tanks for free. Lucifron does now have to change position. Just a handful of tanks here still to defend. Looks like that base is down now. The only way Lucifron is thinking about winning this game is if he can drag it out for like another 20 minutes. That's really his only way to do it. He's got bad position, lower supply. Let's look at the upgrades here. 0-1, 3-3, 0-1, 3-2. So it's not too far behind on upgrades at least. But I don't know if he's going to be able to really hold back this position here. QXC does have to be careful about these Marines inside of the medevacs. Sometimes you can lose those very easily and not realize you have 20 supply in each of those. So he's going to have to fall back. Kind of a mobile contain here from QXC. Still keeping good position, but he is maxed out, so he may have to consider committing to something here soon. Well, he's still got that supply lead. PF up on this side. This base is also going to be a PF. I think Lucifron's just gonna slowly inch his way forward. He sees the army. There are still tanks up here. There's not a lot of tanks. But it would be too much to really push into through this choke without taking a bit of damage. That's why you saw up here, Lucifron was working on taking these rocks down. Taking out these rocks would allow a bunch of Marines to get up and get out a little bit easier. A lot of scans being used by both players just to see what the position is. Lucifron is closing in on this max. So if we look at the mech upgrades, we've got +2 and +3 on the way for the mech on that side. We also see a lot of missile turrets going up everywhere. What's very important on QX... Whoa! Looks like he found his position to go for it. Oh, this is a little bit fugly. Let's get the command center. Looks like QXC just jumped on the right moment there. This big ball of tanks is not going to be broken by Marines. It's not very easily. Maybe if he dropped into there, if he had Marauders or Hellbats, but don't think he can break that now. Another base going up this side. I do like if I'm going for these corners to take the top because the planetary fortress down here can just get hit from the high ground. So Lucifron is alive, he's just not necessarily happy about it. Looks like there's an attempted drop, maybe from Lucifron, to try to do a flank on these big tank balls. Doesn't look like he's able to do it though. Ooh. Did get that medevac, which was given the high ground vision, but you see another medevac immediately comes over to make sure that high ground vision remains. I don't know. That's so messy. Looks like Lucifron actually took the more favorable engagement. He just didn't really have the army size enough to deal with it. One Marine. Go Hero. That's so funny. QXC did spot that there's weakness on this side of the army. Lucifron's going to try to come back in time. I don't think it's going to work out. Wow, that guy flew. You can't actually siege across the piece there. I don't know if it's really that necessary though. I still think Lucifron's playing super well. I just don't think from a macro standpoint he managed to really get himself back in that game. A couple of really good plays from QXC have just kept him constantly in the lead, and the supply difference now is massive. Lucifron, true to never give up, never surrender, still going at it. Might have been worthwhile even to maybe hide a command center, which is what QXC is scouting for right now. He's probably wondering how Lucifron's still in this game after all these fights. It's more of a juggling match now of who can get sieged up and in the right positions. This isn't a really great spot for QXC. There's a planetary up here. He's not going to be able to really engage it. He's got a lot of his army trapped, but he could potentially flank up into this base. That's what Lucifron's trying to prepare for. This could be really clever. Just parking behind the planetary. There's almost nothing Lucifron can do about it. GG from Lucifron. I mean, he's just getting starved out at this point. He's out of minerals. There's a bank going for QXC. He's been losing for the last 20 minutes. Still like his play, though. Still, I think, a little bit better than QXC at this point. But, the series is now tied up. So let us see what happens in Game 3.